the boys become champions. Oh, 67. And then he's a wordsman. The basket in the thousands. You see the boys become champions. Celtic way, wait for the ball from side to side, and until they try to hide, the wait for the ball from front to back. Attack, 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 67. And then he's a wordsman, the buzzing in a thousand.
Good evening and welcome to Celtic Rumours TV, episode number 146 of the Bawz and Bovril podcast. Myself, Mark. Tonight we've got Big Dempsey joining us. He's actually in his van going hands-free. Jerry, you there, aye?
Aye, can you hear me, mate?
Aye, I can hear you fine, aye.
What likes the volume? Not alright?
Aye, what's that coming across like to the lads in the chat? Is it sounding alright to use? And we've got Terence joining as well, so even if we only get an hour out of that tonight, lads, that'll do, do you know what I mean? See, obviously Campsy's been called out at work, do you know what I mean?
No bother at all.
That's we're up, we've got 802 subs now, so we broke 800 barrier. I tell you all the time, thanks, we really appreciate everybody that tunes in and listens back on Spotify, whatever we do. We really appreciate all the subs and all the numbers, the guys that listen and comment and that. The link to everything's in the description box below to our forum, www.celticrumours.co.uk, where every Celtic fan's more than welcome there. We're doing our annual Christmas appeal day for the Hamilton Food Bank. This is our 7th year of doing it. The link for that's down below as well. We're just nearly at the £500 mark again already. Brilliant. We've only been going for 2 weeks or something, so big up everybody that's donated to that so far. A few shout-outs to some of the lads for the forum now. Obviously Paul is still recovering. Old Tim Alloy, Richie, Glasgow Green, Mikey. Another wee shout-out to Tompo88, who lost his dad there at the weekend. Hope everything's as well as can be expected. Tompo, keep your chin up, mate. Who have we got in the live chat tonight before we get on? Big Jabber. I thought you were coming on. There's a £50 bet on this Campsy, wasn't there? There's witnesses too.
As the food bank went up, man, he was going to double it, mind.
Aye, exactly. He'll need to treble it now if he's not coming on. Evening, Bobby, nice to see you again, bud. Liam, Terence is there. Greg, nice to see you again, mate. Grot bags.
Remember to hit the like button.
Aye, remember to hit the like button, guys. Aye.
Bobby will be happy.
Patrick Mealy, I think that's a new name there. Thanks very much for coming in, Patrick. Nice to see you, mate. I think that's me covered by that stuff. What do you think? Going to the game yesterday, I don't think any were expecting that, were we?
Nah, definitely not, mate. Good performance all round. Fantastic to see the wingers playing the way they were and the whole team. Some of the football was brilliant again, but yet again, VAR and poor Kyogo getting off with a sore one. The boy lucky to escape with a flipping yellow card, more like an assault. So, all in all, very happy, mate. What about yourself?
Well, I was delighted, really I was. I thought it was one of the best performances for a Celtic team in a long time.
Yep.
I thought the two wingers, Palmer, I thought Palmer did a great game. As I said all along, I'm excited to see him when we signed him.
Yep.
And I thought he did a fantastic game. That Bohan Farrow's goal, that was sublime, wasn't it? It really was. It was different gravy, that. And what I did like as well, and not miss me come across a bit, I did get Maeda. I think we were more balanced the way we weren't all our attacks weren't concentrated down the left hand side. I think with I think when Maeda plays, he doesn't create. But we've spoke about it. We know what he brings to the team, but he doesn't create much. So everything seems to tend to go down the left-hand side. But I thought yesterday it was a lot more balanced the way they were switching that about.
Yep.
Well, Terence, are you there?
I am indeed. I'm listening to you, boys. I'm listening away.
Oh,
Superb there.
How are we going, boys?
Good, mate.
you're
Yourself?
all good, mate.
Yeah, all good. All good. No, all good. Yeah, it was a cracking performance yesterday. To be fair, I'd agree with you there, Mark. That's as good as I've seen Celtic play in a long time, and I'm not just including under Rodgers. It was. I think clearly they were probably hurt, embarrassed, annoyed, a number of other different adjectives after the Atletico Madrid game, and they decided that whoever the next opponent was, they were going to take it out on them. And like it was lucky that it wasn't 10. It could have come to be been 10, and I have to agree with what Jerry said, and I said it in the live chat as well. The tackle in Kyogo would have been a red card in a rugby match. And the Aberdeen guy played dumb on the ground. There was nothing wrong with him. You see him when he gets up and he's smirking and laughing away because he knows he got away with one.
Aye, definitely.
Even the Aberdeen, the famous Aberdeen captain, is it Willie something? See, I can't think of his surname now, but he was on one of the Willie Miller. Yeah, he was on the BBC thing, and he even said that the guy, it was a straight red. He couldn't understand how it was a yellow. And apparently that guy has had previous with that kind of
I didn't
stuff.
know that. I mean, I thought it was a red. I definitely did, but to be honest, I didn't think there was any malice in it. I didn't think he meant to do it, but maybe I just the way I seen it. But it was definitely warranted a red card. But I didn't see. I didn't at the time. Maybe go back and watch it again, because I kind of didn't notice if the guy was play acting or no. Do you know what I mean? But
he's 100% play acting. He's on the ground, Mark, because he knows if he gets up, that's a red card, and he's holding his head to clash of heads. Like he's just buried Kyogo from behind.
You could tell Kyogo was knocked out before he hit the ground. You could see that he was knocked out. I wasn't surprised the day to see him come out saying that he can't really remember getting off the pitch or nothing.
Oh, you could see in the slow mo that he was out. Like he was out before he hit the ground. Like
aye.
You know, and I'm not being funny, but if that's another team and that challenge goes in, there's a red card. Like you know, and that's the issue. Like and even on top of that, Mark, later on in the game, there was a tackle went in on O'Reilly, a very very similar tackle to the Atletico Madrid one, except O'Reilly didn't go down, rolling around the ground, and there was no card issued to it. You know, that was very, very, very lenient referee, and I don't particularly mind that ref, to be honest. I don't think he's as bad as some of the other guys, but and the idea that VAR doesn't look at that and think, look, you need to look at that. That would have been out of place in Murrayfield, let alone Celtic Park, like.
But it's good we finally get somebody who can take a penalty too.
Oh, what a penalty!
I know.
It was. I thought. I didn't think it was going to be him. I thought Big O, after he winning it was going to be taking it, but no, it was some strike for a penalty. And it's a relief we get somebody to put the ball in the back of the net for 12 yards.
Palmer, wait till you see, honestly, see once he gets flying for us, wait till you see the free kicks in that he scores, Jerry, honestly.
I've seen that, he's getting better week in, week out, mate.
And I mean, we've spoken about it as many times, me and you spoke about it even after, don't know on the podcast, but how garbage we were at set pieces.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, very poor. But you made a great point as well, though, Mark. In fairness, at the start of it, the idea of Yang, who had a fantastic game yesterday as well, it gave a different outlet that you could go left or right. Whereas I would agree with you, when Maeda is playing, everything does go down the left. So the opposition nearly go heavyweight on their right side of defence, because they know, listen, Maeda generally doesn't do much in the attacking third. Whereas yesterday, both Yang and Palma, they really they really occupied their full backs, and you didn't know which way it was going to go. I need to say as well, Mark. I thought you meant Holm in the middle of the park at a cracking game.
Oh, I thought he done well as well. Maybe it's just the legs, fitness or that he get took off, but I was surprised to get took off, so I'm assuming that it was just something to do with trying to build up his fitness, because I thought he did a great game as well.
I had actually said he was having a quiet game, and I thought, what game are you watching? I thought he had a right good game as well.
He breaks up an awful lot. He broke up an awful lot of tackles and, you know, winning 50-50s and breaking up play, doing the dirty side of the work.
And I know he got a goal, but again, when Turnbull came on, you kind of saw the drop off of the kind of intensity, didn't you? How it kind of slows. When Turnbull's on, it's kind of the full dynamics of the midfield seems to slow down a wee notch. I know we were a couple of goals up and stuff like that, so, but it's still, you could see that the intensity dropped off just that wee notch when Turnbull came on. I thought.
Yeah. But your man's touch as well, though, Mark. If when the ball comes to that hole, his first touch is his first touch is a turn into space. So many times he kind of does this swivel, and he kind of flicks himself away from his opposition, and all of a sudden he's in space, and he always looks to go forward, and he doesn't take as many touches for me as Turnbull. Turnbull might take 3 or 4 touches, whereas your man Holm generally it's either 1 or 2 touches or a quick turn and then a pass. I think for me McGregor would benefit more from him in there than certainly Turnbull, because he does a lot of the donkey work. He's got a bit. He's able to pass. He's obviously going to get fitter because he needs more minutes in his legs. But I thought he had a really, really good game.
Yep.
I'm liking as well a Wata, just in the wee burst we're seeing him. I think he could be a good player for us going forward. I think there's a place in that squad for him. I definitely do. Evening, Kieran. Nice to see you again, mate. Thanks for coming in, bud.
He's so far down the pecking order, though, Mark.
Well, it's kind of just basically because McGregor's keeping that position himself, isn't it? Really, there, but coming on, a lot of showing that he can handle that kind of the physical side of the game. He kind of reads the game a bit better than McGregor as well, I think, in the defensive side of things. So, again, we're going back to building for Europe. Is there a way we can fit like a Wata in beside McGregor in Europe or something like that for going forward? I mean, in my opinion, you're saying he's for doing the pecking order in that terms. But see, to be honest, I would even have a Wata in the team after Turnbull. Even playing no playing the CDM role, just playing like what Matt O'Reilly or what the other Turnbull or whoever's going to do. Do you know what I mean? I'd even see him in there because he's still bringing that physicality. He's still bringing that physicality into the midfield. It doesn't need to be your CDM that's the kind of physical member of your midfield. Do you know what I mean? You just need somebody that can put a boot in when it needs done.
Yeah. Do you think we'll get to see? Do you think he'll drop McGregor at all? Do you see that coming? No. It's just that a lot of the performances round about the midfield, most of the ones that have come on have stepped up. I mean, Holm, in the flashes we've seen, the games we've seen, I think he's done really well. Apart from the sending off against Feyenoord, I think he's done really well. But Awata the same. Anytime he's come on, I think he's shown up really well as well. He's always looking in space, looking for the ball, looking for touches, and never really puts a pass wrong. I don't think I've seen him give the ball away yet. But I think McGregor would definitely benefit from having Holm in there with his legs over Turnbull. I think long term that's a better option, and I think. Although I like Turnbull, who's the boy Martin was on the other night, I think he made some good points with Turnbull in the space. But long term, I just don't think Turnbull will be in that midfield or in the Celtic team.
I'll be amazed if he's here come next summer.
No, I don't think so.
Because it's dragging on now, this contract situation. Rodgers has said the offer's there, and it's obviously in Turnbull's court, so why is he dragging his heels? Jabber, just hold on the new lads. They're big Jabber gifted a membership to somebody. I honestly, I don't understand too well how that works, but thanks very much, Jabber, but you don't need to do stuff like that, mate. Honestly, just don't bother.
Aye, it is. A bet's a bet, man. He's lying in his bets, you know.
I know he's minted in that, but
aye, he's taking him. He's
on McGregor, but I see on McGregor, I'm not. See, I wouldn't like to say dropped, Jerry. Do you know what I mean? Can you say
no.
I think it would be rested, and I think it should be a case he does need rested because he's been that. I mean, it's hard to say, but McGregor, let's be honest, he's been one of the most inconsistent performers so far this season. And that's no McGregor. Do you know what I mean? He was your Mr. Reliable. He was your 8. You were at least getting a 7.5, 8 out of him every week kind of thing. And this season, games just seem to be passing him by. Apart from Ibrox, I mean, his performance that first half in Ibrox was the Cal McGregor we would all love to see every week. But we're just not seeing it. Do you know what I mean?
A question for you, and this is genuinely: if McGregor, assuming McGregor wasn't captain, right? Would you think, if you were to pick the best three starting midfielders tomorrow, on current form, would McGregor deserve to start? I don't think he would.
No, definitely not.
I mean, as good as a player he is, I love him, but I think on current form, he's definitely not in the best three midfielders to start for me at the minute. I know that might be slightly controversial.
No, current form definitely not. You would have him in there. You'd have a Riley home and probably give a lot of his chance over McGregor, unfortunately. But I'm one of McGregor's biggest fans, so I'd probably be the last player in my team I would drop. But if you were just going purely in current form, I think it would be starting.
I'd be with you as well.
You're the Bishop. And evening, JFP. Thanks very much for coming in, John.
Hi, John.
I'd be the same as you, Jerry. I love McGregor as well, and yeah, obviously normal circumstances you wouldn't drop him. But I'm just saying, if you went on current form, he as Marcus said, apart from the Ibrox game, like he's and I don't understand why McGregor has to start the game at home to say Bovril or St Mirren. The manager needs to go aside to him and say, listen, I need you to get a bit of a rest. I want Awata is only coming on for 15 minutes, 10 minutes in a game. He's looking good every time. Like surely to God, he deserves a start. Like, because if McGregor gets an injury like he did against Alloa, everyone was going, oh my God, who plays there? Like, I keep saying it, like, if you're resting Carter Vickers, you're resting Alistair Johnson, you're resting Matt O'Reilly, you're resting all these, you need to go to McGregor. Listen, you're not playing 60 games again this season. You're just not, like, between international. He's going to be way now playing internationals, and all of a sudden, like, I keep saying it, a Holm or a Water or someone could be comfortably coming in there against Motherwell or St Mirren or Dundee United or whoever it is at home at Celtic, and should be able to do a job quite comfortably. And McGregor should be told, listen, you're having a break here now, and simple as that.
I said the other night, I think after this tournament that Scotland go to, this Euros, I think McGregor should cut time on his international career and concentrate on just staying at the top of his game for Celtic. You know what I mean? Whether that means he needs to sit on the bench once every now and again for a couple of games, or even the odd game, and fair dues. It's just the way it is. As you get older, do you know what I mean? He's getting old. It's not as if he's still youngish player wise. McGregor probably going to play. He's 36, 38. Do you know what I mean? But
as I say, Mark, time waits for no man.
No.
You know, no. Everyone gets older. You know what I mean? Celtic would prefer to get another 2 seasons out of Callum McGregor further down the line than McGregor doing what he's doing, and all of a sudden, by for argument's sake, say 35, he's, you know, or 34, he's going, look, that's it. I've got nothing left in my legs. But if he keeps playing 60 games in the season, he will be gone by 34.
Aye. I mean,
he'll maybe take a leaf out of Brown's book and see that
Hopefully.
it helped him.
it seems to be a kind of common thing, but then typically players these days, they kind of get to that stage of international career, international football, they kind of just decide, there's the younger guys are coming through, and especially coming to like when tournaments are coming about. Do you know what I mean? They always kind of retire after like a qualification, whether they do it or they don't. But they always kind of call quits on it then. But I think McGregor, for me, and probably for his own career, I think it would be the wisest decision from after this. I mean, it's not as if he needs to turn up for Scotland. He got overlooked for the captaincy for Scotland and stuff like that. So it's no, do you know what I mean? He doesn't need to hold on there. He's that kind of person in they're changing him, although he'll still be a big character in there and well respected with the players. But for the best of his career and for the best for Celtic, I think it's time we called it a quits with international stuff. And as you said there, Terence, just take a telling probably. Do you know what I mean? If I get an older, wiser man like Brendan Rodgers, it helped him become the player that he is, and say, look, if you want to play at the top level for years 35 and 36 of that, you've got to need to cut down the amount of games you're playing every season. You don't need to be there every week, no matter who we're playing. Whether it's just said, we could be playing some wee Diddy team down in the lower leagues in the cup, the early rounds of the cup, but you can guarantee that Callum McGregor will be playing it, and there's no need for it. Do you know what? There is no need for it.
No, there's none at all. But I think the manager needs to step in there as well, the mark, and go, listen, I know you're the captain, but I'm the manager. I'm picking a team. I feel what's best for the side. We've got a big match, a big league match, for argument's sake. We've got Rangers next week in the league match. They're playing Alloway or something, or Falkirk the week before. You're not playing. You can be moody with me. You can be out with me. You could be whatever you want, but you're not playing. Simple as that.
No, I totally agree. Totally agree with that. That's what I'm saying, Terence, when I'm saying, like, listen to a man that's a bit wiser than you and been about the game longer and obviously helped his career, and Brendan Rodgers saying to you, you can't keep playing at this level if you want to have a long career.
Yeah, I fully agree with you.
There's JFP made a good point about his stats declining over the last 2 seasons or 2 years. Now, that's normally an indicator for anybody that it is maybe time to play less or pick and choose the games, or maybe even call time in their international career. Because let's face it, Scotland aren't going to do anything, so he's not going to miss out on much, apart from away for the wife and Wayne's for a week or two till they get hammered and put out whatever cup they're in. So you're
not expecting him to win this European thing then, no?
Maybe they win the spoon, aye, but nothing else. No. But no, you would think Rodgers would have this chat with him behind closed doors and say, look, it's maybe about time you maybe think about managing your body that a bit better and take it for there. Who knows? He's probably had this conversation already. We'll wait and see.
For all we know, Rodgers will come out and say, Cal McGregor's fitter than Maeda. James Forrest is quicker and McGregor's fitter.
Aye, so that wouldn't surprise me. What about Big O?
He did well.
Oh, sorry, Tim.
No, go on, work away, Jerry. No, you're fine.
I was going to get away from the McGregor thing. See, what do you think about Big O? Do you think he's done enough to merit a start yet, even if Kyogo's injury free?
Again, definitely. I think you got to chop and change. Give guys a chance, like.
Yep. Aye. I think any time he's come on recently, he's done really well. And I think it's all a matter of time. You know what, the same situation as Giakoumakis, where he's not getting his chance and wanting to leave. But I think the big man deserves a wee chance starting up front.
Well, it's probably because his international break. See, like if we were playing next week, I think Kyogo would have been. But whether he's, I don't know what the rules are with these seed injuries. It's a bit confusing with what people are saying in the forum. But if we were playing like midweek or next Saturday, I think Kyogo would have been on the bench or even out the squad altogether because of that he'd no key took. Do you know what I mean? If it was an international break, I don't know whether whether he dropped Kyogo for all. But I mean, the 2 goals yesterday, you can only boost a guy's confidence.
Aye.
But Buzz put on. I think Buzz put the stats up on the forum earlier on. I'm sure he says something with the minutes he's played this season. He said a goal every 86 minutes or something.
Yeah, he said it's 777 minutes or something, a goal every 86 minutes. That's a goal a game, like.
Aye.
Yep.
I mean, I've said it before. I like Cole. And when Rodgers came in, I said right away, I thought was more a Brendan Rodgers type of striker than Kyogo was. But obviously he's stuck with Kyogo. But I still think that I think O could be a cracking player for us. I really do. I don't know what it is. There's just something about him that I like. Do you know what I mean? It's just whether does he remind you of the guy like Dembele, that kind of player? Do you know what I mean? And I like that type of player in my centre forwards or strikers.
He doesn't mind mixing it either, which is good. Like, you know, he's not shy to get stuck in, and you know, the pulling and dragging, and you know, he can roughhouse it with the centre backs, and I like that. And he's good with the ball at his feet. He's good with the ball in the air. So he's an all round. He's a tidy player. There's no question about it.
They're Greg saying Kyogo's a wee bit off the boil. But I mean, he's still putting up with the goals in that. But that sounds stupid as anything saying it, but it's really all Kyogo does.
Aye, score. Put it on the net.
Aye, he doesn't do anything to bring other players into the game and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? It's a weird thing.
That's the flip side to it. That's what you're wanting to strike to do, isn't it? That's what you're wanting. As long as your striker puts the ball in the back of the net, he can thoroughly say his job's done. But I know what you mean. You're wanting the all round. But that's sometimes when you're playing that 4-3-3, that can be the problem. You've got the way Kyogo plays. You're just wanting him. You're wanting obviously bring him into play, but putting the ball in the back of the net is his main concern. But when he drops his deep, he's no. He kind of loses his effect. He's better off playing after that kind of last man and making kind of intelligent runs. But you're looking for an all rounder. Unfortunately, we've not got him.
No, and if he did have him, he wouldn't be a bit long. Do you know what he'd be into it.
Yeah,
it's just you see all the time, Terence. We sit here and we pick faults, and players could do this and players could do that, but if they could do all the things we wanted them to, they wouldn't be at Celtic.
No, they without a doubt. And the thing about Kyogo is, it's like Jerry has said there. Like Rodgers has obviously indicated that he wants Kyogo to drop back a little bit deeper. We all know that that's not what Kyogo's probably best strengths are, but the Japanese players are so disciplined that if the manager asked him to go back to left back every time the ball was lost, he'd do it. That's just there seems to be their DNA. Whereas Kyogo's best placed, as Jerry has rightly said, there is on the last shoulder, the ball played through, and he's generally throwing it.
Exactly.
You know, he mightn't do an awful lot more around it. Might have a few passes here and there, but generally speaking, as you said, if his job is to put the ball in the back of the net and he does that 40 times a season, you'll be delighted.
Oh, aye, and that's him done his job. Aye, exactly. Aye, it's a tough one. It is, but I mean, to a certain extent, we do sit here and nitpick into it, really.
Yeah, but look, Lee Griffiths was Gary Hooper, Lee Griffiths, similar to an extent. Maybe they might have linked up play a little bit more, but the you know, majority of the stuff was like Gary Hooper in particular was inside the penalty box. You know what I mean? He was probably a bit more physical than Kyogo, which is fair enough. But you know, you look at a lot of good strikers through the years, not even at Celtic, outside Celtic, and they mightn't do a whole lot around the pitch. But by God, when it comes to knocking the ball in the back of the net, that's priceless. Like,
I wouldn't put Kyogo in the same kind of league as your kind of Gary Hooper and Lee Griffiths. I wouldn't. I think they two are better strikers than Kyogo.
They probably are, but I mean in the similarities that you mightn't necessarily see them doing a huge amount around the pitch. I'm saying in the final third, it's where they came alive. for me.
Oh, aye. Oh, I agree with that. Aye. I mean, Lee Griffiths could score for anywhere in about the box.
Yeah.
And Gary Hooper, do you know what I mean? Gary, the sitters that Kyogo misses and stuff like that, Gary Hooper would eat them up for breakfast.
Oh yeah, no, he's superb striker.
Right.
But
No,
I just meant more. They mightn't do a huge amount outside the final third, is what I'm trying to say. Similar to Kyogo, but when the chance came, the majority of times it was in the back of the net. Like
that jabber and Bobby or Kyogo's much better than that. No, no way. No chance. When you look at big champs, you cut off. You back here, Jerry? Aye.
That's me back, mate. I don't know what happened. I'm in deepest, darkest stairs. Just
what's Chris Boyd? Chris Boyd's not looking for you.
Aye, no. He get dealt with on site, my man.
Kyogo, I mean, Lee Griffiths, he's even going back to set pieces and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Lee Griffiths had that to his game.
He did, yeah. He was cracking free kick, to be fair.
Do you know what I mean? Knocked his melt in for 90 minutes. I know Kyogo did knock his melt in, but it's just, I don't know, just as an out-and-out striker, for me, Gary Hooper's better than Lee Griffiths and Kyogo. And as your kind of all-round up that, if you were playing with a solo striker, I would take Griffiths or Kyogo any day of the week. A fully fit and focused Lee Griffiths. And I hated Lee Griffiths. I didn't like him. I still don't like him. But you can't fault that he could put the ball in the net.
No, he was just a headbanger.
I've never thought. I can't imagine that. Lee Griffiths over Kyogo.
Aye. See all this talk about Kyogo's the best striker we've had for Larson? That's absolute nonsense. Absolute garbage.
No, I love the wee man. I think he's great, but Lee, I never thought I'd hear the day somebody would want maybe think of him, Griffith or him.
I thought Jan Vennegoor of Hesselink. He was better than Kyogo.
Aye. Big Jan.
Do you know what I mean? But that's the thing about it. You know about Kyogo's the best striker we've had for Larson? That's absolute nonsense. Dembele.
Big Jan was more an all-rounder though as well than Kyogo. But Kyogo's brilliant off the last man. But Griffiths was good as well. But that's a hard one, Mark. It really is for me. I just don't know. I don't know. What about yourself, Ter?
It's a tough one that no, because I can see both sides of the argument. Like if you had Lee, I suppose the ideal one is if you had Lee Griffiths finishing with Kyogo's attitude, you'd be flying.
Aye, the wee man's attitude by far would be better than Griffiths.
The one thing I would say is, when they were showing it obviously at half time on Celtic TV, the highlights of a match, and when people are saying, "Oh, he's the best striker since Henrik Larsson," I think it's insulting to put anyone's name in a sentence with Henrik Larsson. Because we're just watching some of the finishes, and you're there going, "My God!" Like he's just. It's Henrik Larsson, and then there's a monumental gap, and then you can pick who you think is the next best striker. But none of them come within a country mile of him.
No. Nah, we were blessed to have him, but for me, I don't know. I just could never imagine having, if I had to pick a Kyogo and Griffiths. Although Griffiths could play off the last man as well. He can score headers, score with both feet, outside the box, inside the box. But I can understand. Would you have said Griffiths worked harder than Kyogo?
No.
No, I wouldn't say he worked harder. It's probably one of the things that, Griffiths, even though he always looked as if he was blowing out his arse after the first 20 minutes, he still ran about. You know what I mean? He still put in the same probably kind of effort as Kyogo.
Yeah. It's a hard one. I'd say if you put a poll on it, Mark, I'd say the majority of people would go for Kyogo. I think obviously probably due to the fact that Griffiths has kind of tainted his copybook, so to speak, the way he finished up. But I'd say the majority of people.
Did you have you slip of the tongue there, terms when it tainted his foot?
His copybook.
Oh,
No, but no.
But I mean, they're right. But people they're talking about like their JFP's talking about Larson stands alone with McStay, Larson, McStay, and Anton Rogan. Greg says and that. But there. But if you're picking your best ever Celtic team that we've seen terms, right? We don't need to get back to the Lisbon Lions and that. I know you've seen them, but that's a bit before my time. I know you dogged work that day to go and watch it, didn't you? But there's nobody realistically with Kyogo in their best Celtic 11.
No, I'd be very surprised.
Even the players you've seen, do you get what I mean? I mean, I'll tell you now, probably the striker. See if you've done it. Obviously, if you're playing with one striker, you're going to go with Larson. But I mean, the other one, and I know people hate me on that. Charlie Nicholas, when he was at Celtic, when he was a young boy, was one of the best strikers I've ever seen in my life. And the mistake Nicholas made was going to Arsenal. If he'd went to Liverpool, if Nicholas had went to Liverpool, I don't know, I think Man United had been sniffing about him, but he didn't fancy it because they weren't really winning anything at the time. But it was a bright lights of London. Charlie Nicholas would have known him to be probably one of the best strikers in Europe across the board for years.
Yeah, even Dembele, Mark. Dembele would be probably up there with the best striker I've seen. If you're looking for a second striker,
in recent years, I'd have Dembele the top here, or the strikers over the last, say, I don't know, 10 years or so.
The best I've seen.
McAvenny, JFP saying, I know. Evening, Kev. Nice to see you again, bud. I think I've talked that. We're talking about saying that Lee Griffiths is better than Kyogo.
Aye.
Another striker mentioned. Just going through the chat there. No, Dembele over the last 10 years without doubt. Rambo, Big McInally. Big McInally was a good striker as well. You don't go and play for Bayern Munich if you're rubbish.
No, he was tidy, to be fair. Look, it's like the boys are saying, even JFP, McAvenny in his day and all that, but slightly controversial a little bit, but Scott McDonald was a cracking striker. Scott McDonald could finish.
Aye.
You know, he could seriously finish, you know what I mean? You know, so I mean, I like if you were picking the best Celtic team, as you said, even in the last 10 years, and you're leaving out Larson, but if you had the best team, the 2000 from Martin Neal's team onwards, like, you know, Kyogo certainly wouldn't be in this come through there. You know what I mean? As good as he is, he's not as good as Larson. He's not as good as Dembele. There's an argument of Gary Hooper. You know what I mean? There's an argument at times, to be fair, as much as before he went a bit mad. Edward was a fantastic striker.
Aye.
You know, I mean, he really was when he was in his pomp. He was very good.
Would any of today's team or any players over the last 2 or 3 years, would any of them get into like a Martin O'Neill or Gordon Strachan team? Gordon Strachan had some. Aye, when you look at the actual team that Gordon Strachan had, what he done with 8 players was unbelievable.
Aye. Yep.
When you look at the actual personnel that he had on the pitch, do you know what I mean? We're talking about Cal McGregor. Would Cal McGregor have got in Martin O'Neill's team?
No.
Would they have got in a team before Paul Lambert or Neil Lennon or Petrov or anything?
No.
Do you know what I mean? You've got to think as well, right? Back then, Scottish football it's rotten the now, this actual overall standard there. But back then, I think back with their EBTs and stuff like that, do you know what I mean? The Scottish League was the standards were better. Aberdeen were spending money. Dundee United were doing no bad and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It was a harder league then as well. And now, I mean, Celtic cruised through the league.
Yep.
But those players are household names, though, as well. Sorry, Jerry Quinn.
No. Who was our midfield? Who was the kind of midfield starters with Strachan's team again?
It was Barry Robson.
Hartley Robson.
Barry Robson. I mean, he dragged us to over the line.
Barry Robson was a great player.
He was tremendous. I mean, I say that basket Mowbray then sells him. The Middlesbrough then goes and plays him every week.
I saw somebody putting that on the forum or on the chat or something like that. I've seen that.
Fly man.
I mean, even wee Hartley. I mean, obviously I'm biased. I know the guy in that, but I mean,
he was good. He was a great bit of stuff.
I take another wee Hartley like the new or McGregor.
They were big. Hartley and Robson, they could mix it as well. I mean, they were decent footballers as well, but they were workhorses. They worked their socks off, and Robson liked a challenge. So, but
they were guys, Jerry, that got Celtic to the last 16 in the Champions League twice.
Twice. No, I know.
Gary Caldwell.
Do you know that was a team that had Burridge, Naylor, Helfer, Caldwell, McManus, Hartley, Robson, Nakamura, MacDonald, Hesselink. Do you know, it's with the greatest respect, it's I mean, Naylor, Helfer, these boys, you know what I mean? These were decent footballers, but you would say today, was Alistair Johnson a better player than Telfer? You'd say, yeah, I would think he would be.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
Andy Hinkle.
Yeah, Andy Hinkle. You know, would you think that Carter Vickers might be a better centre back than Caldwell or McManus? You'd probably say, yeah, he would be probably better than Caldwell, even though he was okay, but he was prone to mistake. But what I'm saying is, like, that team that Strachan got, they were some serious workhorses, and they nearly all knew their own ability, but they played the game really, really well with the abilities they did have. Like,
but for me and Mikey were talking about this yesterday as I was talking to Mikey, and we were talking about this kind of thing, and what we were saying was, I keep saying it, but it's like teams we come up against in Europe terms, they're just well drilled and well organised, and that's what Gordon Strachan done with the Celtic team. But
he was also a realist, though, Mark. He's a realist as well.
Aye, but I mean, he was there. Strachan came in to clear up the mess that Martin O'Neill had left with the kind of the wages imbalance and the money and stuff like that. And nitpick, you know what? As you say, you know what? Dissed the players because they got to the Champions League last 16 twice, but nitpick players that you wouldn't have thought in a million. Stephen Presley, you know what I mean? Nitpick players that you wouldn't have thought in a million years would have been good enough for Celtic, but they came in and he trained them and organised them and drilled them that well that they were a good, solid, an unbeatable, hard to beat unit.
Yeah, you know, they did the job.
Rather than the Brendan Rodgers or Ange approach that we can just we'll just go and just play, just keep doing what we're doing. We'll get a goal. We're 5-0 down, but just keep playing like that. We will get a goal. Do you know what? It's craziness when you think about it. The money that we're spending now compared to even back then with the players. I mean, even if you could go back and deal that kind of what money was worth and what it is now, we'd have been probably paying players probably equivalent to maybe Aberdeen now. Do you know what I mean? In the grand picture of football finances, we weren't paying great wages to half of these players. Do you know what I mean?
But it's a manager back then, Mark, that wasn't a popular figure, a kind of a fancy figure. But Strachan would have had no issue going to Scott McDonald's. We're away to AC Milan. You're not playing. I'm playing 1 up. I'm playing 5 at the back. I'm playing 4 midfield, and I'm going to make it hard for them to score. And this is out in Lennon, who was another character of the same ilk, would have been a similar kind of stuff. He'd know grand. We'll play 1 up. We'll just play Samras up, or Hooper up, or someone like that, and we'll make it hard for us to concede. If you don't concede goals, you won't lose games. But in the last couple of seasons, the mantra seems to be we'll do 4-4-3. That's what we're going to play, regardless of who we're playing. And Celtic have got some absolute hidings beyond all hidings in the last couple of seasons in the Champions League. And it unfortunately it'll continue once they keep playing the same way they're playing, because the other teams are so much better than them, and Celtic leave themselves so wide open when they play them. Whereas if you look at the likes of Strachan and even Lennon, they knew how to set out their teams, in my opinion, when it came to playing in that Champions League.
I totally agree with that. And see, the thing about it, Terence, it's like I said, seeing cup games and stuff like that, you do what you need to do to get the win. Nobody. See if Celtic went out and can't park the bus, done what's umpteen teams come to Celtic Park and do. Let's see if we went out and done that against a team in the Champions League and we got a point out of it or a win out of it. Nobody's going to moan. Nobody's going to moan, mind that time we beat Barcelona, but they ran us ragged all night. We were lucky to beat them 2-1. Nobody says that. Do you know what I mean? All you bother about is the winning the game, the points and the money involved, and that's it.
But that's the prime example. The Barcelona game is the prime example. Yes, Celtic, you could argue that Fraser Foster the game of his life, but that's neither here nor there. Celtic still were disciplined and didn't allow Barcelona to do what we know Barcelona can do, which is that was at that Barcelona team, which was sensational. A lot of short passing trying to play. Celtic made it awkward for them to go through the middle, but they knew they gave plenty of space out wide because Barcelona would never cross the ball.
Yep.
You know, so I mean, it's been very pragmatic the same way when Strachan done it against the Shakhtar Donetsk and the AC Milans and all these other sides that they had to play. They were being very pragmatic and going, well, I know man for man that they're playing with AC Milan, we're playing with Celtic for a reason. I'll make it as awkward and as difficult as possible. I said this before, Mark. When Celtic play against these teams in the Champions League, I mimicked it to that Celtic are now the St. Johnstone or someone like that. The way Celtic play St. Johnstone or Celtic play whoever it is in the Premier League, they have all the ball, the opposition defend. When it comes to Champions League, the majority of times, for me, Celtic are the St. Johnstone, and if it's Atletico Madrid, they're the Celtic. That's the way. But Celtic don't seem to understand when they go to these games that they should be playing way more defensively minded, in my opinion.
For me, it's common sense, and I honestly have said it. We said it under Ange, we said it under Rodgers the last time. I can't understand why they decide to take this kind of right. We can go toe to toe with the teams that spend millions upon millions of pounds every year and expect to get something.
Maybe it's arrogance
For the manager.
Yeah. From the managers, the last two managers in particular.
Aye. It might be that there. You just think that, okay, I'm smart, I'm one of the smartest men going about the game, and it's kind of, I don't know, that might be right, Terence.
But
I wouldn't like to think so, but it's got to be something like that, really, isn't it?
It has to be like.
You've heard them before saying that he'll always stick to his football. Well, this was first time round. They'll talk about this football and principles, and I'll no deviate from the system I want to play. But we've said this before on the pod. See, if you do that, every team knows how you're going to play and you're easy to set up against. But there's absolutely no reason why any Celtic team shouldn't be organised. There's absolutely no reason for it at all. Any football team should be organised, get into any game, and know how their opposition should be normally be playing and setting up. So for us, we're talking about Strachan's team, they beat teams by being organised. That's fair to do. But why we should never be able to turn around and say that Rodgers' teams aren't organised. If you get what I mean, or I'm talking shite, but
no, it's a very valid point, Jerry.
Every game, and I thought Rodgers' first spell when he was here, we all knew how we were going to set up, how we were going to play, and that's why we took so many downs in Europe. But I think since he came back, he's definitely changed. He's a better coach. He's gained a lot more experience, and I don't think I know he took that down in midweek, but that wasn't down purely to formation and not being organised. I think we get the wrong decision against us. But going forward, for me, I think if we get the right players in, I think he will switch up the formation. He's got to. There's no, you can't. It's suicidal going into European games the same way as you're going to go league games, as you've said there, because we're and domestically we're a big fish in a wee pool. But when we go into Europe, it's roles reversed. With the resources we've got, we're the little fish, but we can still make ourselves hard to beat by being organised and a wee bit more compact, no gung ho.
That's exactly what I fully agree with you, Jerry. And that's it. The problem is, and like you said, for me, if Rodgers is just going to keep going 4-3-3, regardless of if they're playing St Mirren, Rangers, Alloa, or Atletico Madrid or Feyenoord, to me that makes no sense. To me, going to playing in the Champions League, fair enough at home, but away from home, you need to make it awkward and make it hard to beat. I agree with you with the Atletico Madrid. They were unlucky with the Maeda send it off. But even then, you kind of say to yourself, going out in those games, that's why I'd be saying, go 5 in midfield. Have 2 holding midfielders in midfield, because you know when you play these games, it roles reversed. You're probably going to have maybe 30-35% possession, as opposed to 75 or 80% possession that you would have in the normal Scottish game. Yep. And so in that situation, you look at your team and go, okay, who do we have? Who's our midfield? Is Callum McGregor good at tackling? No, he's terrible. What's Matt O'Reilly like? He's okay, but he's in the number 10 role. Who else is there? Turnbull, can he tackle? No, he can't. All of a sudden, there's a major problem. Like where you go, Watt is a great tackler. Holmes a great tackler. Put one of them in beside McGregor. Just make it really, really awkward for the opposition to play through Celtic. And I just don't think at the minute they're doing that in Europe in the last couple of years. Either this current manager and the previous manager, the Spurs manager, was the same.
I mean, I think, see, take the Atletico Madrid game out of the equation, right? If it never happened. Against Feyenoord, we were unlucky. Against Lazio, we were unlucky. I mean, against Feyenoord, we had 9 men, and I thought we still actually done well. It's just in these games. No, that Atletico Madrid game, we get pumped. They're not getting away for that. And even if Maeda hadn't get sent off, I think we would still get beat with a good 2 or 3 goals. I really do. But apart from that game, I thought we've actually showed up no bad. You get what I mean? In Europe.
Yep.
But things could have went our way and things didn't go our way, blah, blah, blah. Which is the usual Celtic. It's all fine lines with Celtic, do you know what I mean? Is it the tactics, or is it again down to the players? Is it down to the personnel on the pitch that's letting us down when it comes to these kind of fine margins? You know what I mean? For the Lazio game at Celtic Park, do you know what I mean?
Surely it's a combination of both, Mark. There's an onus on the management at certain times in the game, and there's a huge onus on the players. The players are on the pitch; they see it in front of them the same way. The manager might be able to change it, but players also need to be like there's very, very experienced players on that pitch. They also need to take responsibility on their own shoulders and go, right, okay, for argument's sake, we're a little bit under the cosh. Okay, don't have the fullbacks bombing forward when we do win the ball, or you know, just like they know themselves what to do. Maybe get themselves a little bit more compact, a little bit more solid. I don't know, but like it just, the problem is it happens too many times for it to be unlucky. Take the Madrid game out of it, but the amount of times Celtic seem to concede late on in games in Europe, in particular,
it's always either an early goal, just before half time, or just at the death end of the game.
It's like they switch off. It's like they're not tuned into the game. I know they are, but it's like that. You kind of go 5 minutes in, Celtic have conceded. 44 minutes, you're thinking, right, get to half time 1-0. Next minute they concede a second. Or the same when the last umpty 10, 15 minutes, they're still in the game and they might concede a late goal. They have a habit of doing that. And like I said, I don't know whether it's a case that they psychologically switch off or I don't know what it is, but it's just something that it happens so many times. It can't always be unlucky. That's all I'm saying.
But it happens under so many managers, didn't it for us?
Oh, it's not just a particular manager. It's a lot of them.
It seems to be a running theme throughout the club. I mean, even going back just with Brendan Rodgers, under Ange with Rodgers before that, and it just seems to be a thing that we don't seem to get any breaks in Europe. Isn't it? Really, it's kind of. I know you're saying terms it can't just be luck, but it does seem to be like that, didn't it?
Yep.
Yeah, but you make your own luck,
as well.
That's true. You make your own luck, aye. What was that, Jerry?
No, I've said it a good few times. We're naive in the way we play in Europe. I mean, that you've highlighted that Kev's point about Inter Milan, the way Man City, the Champions League final, the way Inter set up to nullify Man City. Solid tactics, that's the way we should be playing. I agree with that, but see, like I before that the Atletico game there and we get hammered, we had said that we hadn't been disgraced, and then on another day we could have been sitting top of that league. It wouldn't have been out of realms of reality, because from a few bad mistakes we were unlucky, and then we go and take that 6-0 hammering and we're back to square one. But anytime you play any of these teams, they're all at the dark arts, they're rolling about, they're wanting the cards, the fouls, the whole shebang. We're naive in the way we play the game and approach games at times. And this isn't just this team, this is but in Europe in general. Over the years, it's always the same old, so little bit so far. But you look at other teams with the same resources, they seem to be doing a bit better.
See, I know, but I've said this a million times. I wouldn't like his to end up like one of the crazy Turkish teams or that, or even like Atletico Madrid. But I think Celtic as a team, and even if I've said this before, as a support, could take a leaf out of being a wee bit more nasty. As you said there, Jerry, a wee bit of the dark arts. Do you know what I mean? But no rolling about, like, no, you know what I mean? But
I've never wanted to see a team doing that.
But if a player's running into the box and he gets the slightest touch, he should get down. Especially in the Champions League, for me.
Just need to be cuter, Mark. You just need to be cuter.
That's what I mean. Cuter. Not be dirty, but be cuter. Especially in this day of VAR, you know what I mean? Because if you feel a touch on you and you get down and it goes to VAR, all they'll see is that pull or touch or tug on you, so they'll give you it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Especially with the slow-mo, because if they pause it and the guy's got to hold your jersey, he's got to hold your jersey. Or if his foot makes contact with your foot and it's paused and he sees it, that's what it is. But that's what these teams do.
Unless you're playing away to Livingston.
Aye, that's true.
I'm surprised you've not brought that up yet, Jerry.
Nah, I don't want to mention them, man. They're irrelevant. Talk about that. I watched. You're talking about the Larson there, Ter. I'd watched one of his goals earlier on. Remember the one out through with Bob Malcolm. Bob Malcolm ends up in his arse, then he just lobs it over.
The League Cup.
It taps it in.
That was in Hamden, wasn't it? The League Cup.
Aye, well, back in VAR. If this was back with VAR now, that would have been another one that would have been chopped off. You're not allowed to touch a player these days. We're no. And VAR are want to pull it back for something.
Clearly neither Livingston. They don't have to touch a player. They don't have to touch a player either.
Aye, that's true, mate. Aye, that's it. Can you hear them? It's enough.
I seen there's a meeting next month sometime with the FIFA board that make up the rules for the games and stuff like that. And Kev was talking about it on the live chat yesterday what Arsene Wenger is coming up with, and he's wanted to change it. See, like this stuff, like if you're offside, the bit that your body, nope.
Aye, the full body.
Aye, no, but
aye,
quick, aye, you can your own. It goes for the attacker. It goes more towards the attacker side, like going towards their kind of they're on the right. You know what I mean? There was a perfect example to somebody put on the live chat about it, and I can't remember what it was. And it was somebody that was like, this one bit of their body was made the goal offside, but under this new rule that Arsene Wenger and that Kalina, the big Italian ref they want to bring in, is that the advantage goes to the attacker now, so it's no offside. And they're saying this is going to help VAR become a better system in that, but I don't know if it's going to help in Scotland. I think they should just scrap it altogether.
I would have no objections if they scrapped it. It's been a farce for a get-go.
It's adding nothing to the game. Nothing at all.
Aye.
Just time wasting. Apart from injury, about 40 minutes injury time, that's about all it adds.
Aye. What about Taylor? Really, I thought he was shite Saturday, or Sunday rather.
Well, I'd never really noticed.
No, I thought I'd just
I wasn't thinking it. Oh.
I just wanted to say it because I thought we won 6-0, but I thought somebody would still want to have a moan about him.
Moan about him.
Aye.
He seems to be playing better. He's playing better than he was at the start of the season, definitely. Taylor.
Most of Marmark.
Aye.
Well, that's true as well, Terence. Aye.
Most of them were struggling big time at the start of the season, to be fair, but a lot of them have picked it up, to be fair. You know, but you'd also hope they've played a lot of minutes. You'd expect them to be up flying fit at this stage. And they said, look, yes, his performance was a great performance going into the international break. The biggest thing going forward now is when these players all head away to this Asia Cup. How many players are going to be down? Like,
yeah, well,
see, that's the thing about it is we spoke about this before. We spoke about it on the podcast. We spoke about it on the forum and everything about this Asian Cup coming up and the amount of players. And again, and JFP will love this. And again, is this getting back to the poor transfer window in the summer? I mean, we've got plenty of money in the bank. We can get in January and sign players, but there's coming in. It's always hard to sign good players in January. Do you know what I mean? We know that, but are they going to come in and be able to just come into the team seamlessly and start playing the way Rodgers wants them to play and replace these players that are getting away?
Can I ask you a two-year question? You can say, would, for argument's sake, because obviously the three forwards Celtic have will be gone. Kyogo or Maeda. You imagine they're all gone. That is like, would either of the two of you offer that Lawrence Shankland?
Shankland?
Yeah, Shankland.
I wouldn't.
Take the Hearts thing out of it now.
Nah.
Domestically, he's putting the ball in the back of the net, but I would have thought we'd be looking for a wee bit better than him.
I mean, we kind of talked, but for months we've spoke about, we need to get another striker in. And we speak about what kind of level you want that striker to be. We want somebody better than Kyogo and or we want just like a backup striker. Do you get what I mean? And I don't think Shankland would come to us for the simple reason. If our strikers are fit, he's not going to get in the team. And I think for the money Hearts would want from him and probably the wages he wants, I think you could get a better and younger player than him, Terence, to be honest.
No, I'm just curious because I agree with you when you're saying that if you bring in another striker to be better than what is currently there or whatever position it is, but I'm just judging on what Celtic's general mantra is in the transfer market. They're not going to spend 10 million on a player. Like, they're not even going to spend 5 million on a player, I imagine.
Especially when it could be sitting on the bench.
Yeah. So the problem is because if Kyogo's there, he plays. Obviously, O's there, and they even have Maeda as the third choice. So if all three of those are gone to the Asia Cup for however long the period of time is, Celtic then have no recognised striker in the first team that you have. So do they then go and buy a guy who's going to cost them whatever X, Y, and Z, and he's straight at the first team, or do they go and buy a guy for a short period of time till Kyogo comes back?
Yep. No. I mean, the amount of chances you would get at Celtic putting a plate for about Celtic compared to Hearts, they would probably do a number, but no for me. But I seen Bobby's he'd take Majowski or Duke for Aberdeen. I'd probably have took one of them as well. Before I'd have took Shanklin.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious because Celtic are going to be in a predicament when it does come to that, because all three of those boys are all the three main strikers, so to speak. The two centre forwards and the backup are all gone. So where does Celtic turn to?
But is Kyogo certain to get into the squad?
This is what they're saying by all accounts. I don't know, Mark. I don't know enough about it.
Mind this all came out for the World Cup and stuff like that. And I mean, who went? Maeda went it. That was the only Japanese player that went to World Cup for us.
Aye.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. Is it still the same guy that manages Japan? Because he didn't really fancy Kyogo, didn't he? No.
Yeah. No, I haven't a clue, but I'm just putting it out there because obviously all will be gone with Korea, I imagine. Even in the squad, he'll be gone surely.
No, I think it was a certainty to go.
So
I mean, guys like Awata and that, do they get involved in the national team? Do you know what I mean?
He's probably going to struggle if he can't get a game for Celtic, though.
The main one is Kyogo. You know what I mean? That really is. That's, as you said, he's our main striker. He's the first choice striker. And I mean, how long does that Asian Cup last? Like the other internationals are like a month.
Could be something like that. Like not only that, you see, I wouldn't mind
imagine Japan will get to later stages of that, isn't it? It's not as if they're going to get packed out in the first round. I wouldn't imagine.
But it's not only that, Mark. It's the fact that if Kyogo does go, will be gone as well.
Aye.
And obviously Maeda will be gone. Now, I don't never understand the logic of Maeda as the third centre forward myself personally, but that's my own personal opinion. But you have your two main strikers could be gone, and your what you consider your alternative centre forward could be gone as well.
But just when we're talking about like signing that like that Shanklin, about that Bing Nisbet, that Kevin Nisbet. They have
yeah, well, when they had the chance to sign him.
Where did he go? Millwall, is it?
Yeah, Millwall, I think. Yeah.
See, I would rather maybe take a chance on somebody like that. I don't know how he might be setting the world on fire. Well, not much of a world to set on fire in Millwall, but he might be setting the place on fire down there. But I don't think
doing that anyway.
Aye, but even doing maybe he would fancy even a loan if he's not doing too well down there. Just when I saw it there the other day, one of the lads had it on the forum talking about it. No, there's a lot of Celtic fans think we should sign Shanklin. I think he'd be a good signing in that, but he's probably one of his signings. He would score his goals in Scotland. He would do as a good turn in Scotland, but
the only thing, Mark, is you can't say. I understand what you're going to say about the Europe side of things. But Celtic aren't going to spend the money. No, Celtic aren't going to spend the money.
That's what I mean. It's again, would Shanklin come into Celtic to be the third choice striker as soon as all these guys come back for the Asian Cup?
Oh, that's a very fair point. You know what I mean? But at the same time, if a guy came in, for argument's sake, if Shanklin came in or Nisbet came in, and the boys were gone for a month and he's played 5 games or whatever it is, and he's banging in goals, it's going to be very hard to take him out of the side.
Was there? Can you read that screen there? Can you see that? Kev's put in there. I've heard they've basically agreed to sign.
Oh, the guy from Bromby.
Aye. The guy from Bromby was aye, right. he wanted to keep it at the end of the season, which is January. Well, that might be true then.
Oh yeah, they were linked with him, all right, in the summer. So maybe that's the case. And look, if it is, then fair enough. I just like Celtic from the transfer market to, as I said before on the thing, to just give the Asian side of things a break for a while and concentrate more on Europe, concentrate more on, as I said, the Scandinavian neck of the woods and that kind of thing, where you can get a lot of good quality players. As I said, that team that I watched that night, I remember I was talking to you, I think Aberdeen played, and they had a couple of right tidy players. The winger fellow who was in the match, he was been sold for $3.5 million. At the time he was going something.
I totally agree with that, Terence. We should be kind of looking at a Scandinavian type of market and stuff like that. I mean, even getting back to Ronnie Dyler's time. You know, I mean, Ronnie Dyler was trying to get his guys like Odegaard and Haaland on loan and stuff like that before they became the players were. And guys sneered in that at Odegaard, and look at him now. You know what I mean? He's one of the best players in England, without a doubt.
You couldn't tell me that a couple of those guys in the, for argument's sake, I know it was only 2 legs, but you couldn't tell me that some of those guys in the Bodo Glimt team wouldn't have looked good in Celtic, like. But they could all play football, like. I mean, you know what I mean?
We've never even been let down really of that kind of Scandinavian market, have we? Laughing, Mjallby, Big Mjallby, Lustig, Harold Bratback.
Ulrik Larsson was a good player.
Aye. But just who was that I just said there again? Christopher Ayer.
Yeah.
How's he doing now, Terence? You ever hear of him or what?
No, I don't, man. I genuinely, I only watch Celtic play, and I couldn't watch any other football. It bores me to death, to be honest. I'd rather watch a rugby match.
Don't pay much attention to the English league at all.
No, I don't. I would go to work at Wonderful.
Big Guy is still only 25-year-old. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. He was 19 at Celtic, like, so you know what I mean, when he first came, I think.
He's only, I don't know if that's. He's only played 38 games for Brentford. If he signed,
that wouldn't surprise me, though, Mark.
2 years. He must have got injured or something like that, surely. Any guys in the chat over that is with Big Aya?
I think he did have a knock, all right, Mark, but like it wouldn't surprise me down there, because you know they might be coming with the concept, well, they've come from Celtic and da and all the rest of it. But I did think he had a knock now, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. You know what I mean?
He's a great player for us to take, you know what I mean? But just another one, his kind of head get turned, wouldn't it? Yeah, there, Martin there saying as well. See what you're talking about there about strikers? Few people have said as well that we should try Palmer through the middle.
Yeah, wouldn't be a bad idea.
That could be. I mean, people have seen him. Imagine Palmer again, but is he an out-and-out striker, or would you not like to see him playing like a mere? Like, imagine Palmer playing like a number 10 role.
That would probably suit more, because to be fair to Palmer, I like, if Celtic were kind of putting in a few high balls, I don't think Palmer is the kind of guy that to take it out with the centre back kind of clattering into the back of him. I don't think that would be his cup of tea, so to speak.
I mean, see, yesterday, every time we get the ball back, Terence, it wasn't predictable. I mean, right, see, James Forrest comes on, he gets the ball, and he cuts inside. Aye. See, yesterday with Palmer and even Young, you didn't know what way they were going to go. They both had a great game. They were both. The thing, I agree with you. They were going inside. They were going outside. They were 1-2, and like, even like Palmer there for was it the first goal? Yeah, Yang's first goal. Like, he goes to go in, he goes out, he goes in, and then he goes down he goes to the touchline. Something that a lot of strikers haven't been doing in a while for Celtic. He went right to the end line and whipped in a great cross for Yang, who came in the back post, a la, say, like a Bada, like a second striker. Aye, that's what it was. But the keeper made keeper made a bit of balls up it right enough. The Aberdeen keeper, you know, I mean, if he'd even get a fingertip on that, that made all the difference. Imagine Joe Hart had done that. We'd have been crucifying Joe Hart for that tonight, wouldn't we?
Oh, he'd have been hammered, all right. He'd have definitely got a hammering for that. But you know, I mean, the main thing is, I said they put in a good result before the international break, which is the main thing, and that's all you can ask from the side. They bounce back well from a bad defeat. You know what I mean?
And the so-called like bit part players or fringe players, whatever you want to call them, they stepped up to the mark, give them their due. Do you know what I mean? The guys who came on, like Yang, Palmer, they stepped up and done a great job yesterday.
But for me, Mark, they not only stepped up, but they kind of go, okay, how do you drop me? How do you drop me now after that performance?
And that's what you want. You know, give the man that kind of, I'm forcing him to make a decision here. Aye, give him a problem to who he's choosing. Aye.
You know, and if you look, if you had a match next week or this week, sorry, you would go, I have to start that team that started. All been fit, I have to start the team that started. There's no reason why I should have to change any of those, because every one of them performed at a very, very high level. And as I said, Aberdeen were lucky it wasn't 10.
Well, if we're playing this week, I'd start O or Kyogo.
Well, obviously Kyogo would be out, because I imagine there's a protocol that if you're concussed.
Aye.
You know, I know, like, it was normally in a rugby one, it was a situation where you do that HIA. They'd do if you came off the field with a head knock, you'd have to go for a HIA, and if you didn't pass that HIA, you wouldn't be allowed back on the pitch. I obviously don't know what the protocol is in football, and as well too, you'd normally be off for 2 weeks. Normally sidelined for 2 weeks if you're deemed to be concussed for safety reasons, which is understandable.
Oh, I definitely. I mean, especially when you see kind of the amount of older football players and that they're dying with
dementias and all this kind of stuff, like, you know.
Stuff.
That's why I'd be surprised if Kyogo even travelled. I don't know if he's in the Japanese squad, but if he was even travelled, because Celtic should be just saying straight away, he's said a concussion, he's been clearly knocked out, he's not fit to travel, he's not fit to play. Medical grounds.
The long haul flight.
And the long haul flight, they wouldn't be helpful. Yeah, that wouldn't be helpful for him to fly in. On that, because, like, I don't know if you've been concussed yourself.
Aye.
You know, you don't know where you are. Like, you're all over, and so it's the following day is worse. Like,
having natural wingers on both sides made a huge difference. I like Maeda, but we don't score 2 or 3 goals with him in place of Yang. I said that earlier on, Kev. It made the attack a lot more balanced having 2 out-and-out wingers, didn't it, Terence? We were going sometimes down the left, and then 2 minutes later we were going down the right, and rather than just all the way down the left. Maeda does a lot for the team. He works hard. His pressing's brilliant, but he's not much in when he's got the ball at his feet. He doesn't offer much in the attacking sense of the game. Whereas
I tell you one thing, Yang is unreal. He's I suppose his technical ability and his skill on the ball. It was, and the thing about it was there was end products. It wasn't just fancy step overs and flicks and things. Like, I thought he had a really, really fine game yesterday. And for me, as I said, both wingers look to get to the byline and get in crosses, and that was really, really nice to see. Like,
a few times with Yang, you thought he'd put it too far in front of him, but then into his he's got big lanky legs, doesn't he, when he's trying to control the ball? Yeah,
he does. He's a big, but he's got a great touch about him. In fairness, some of his flicks were unreal.
Exactly. A few times back, you thought, he's touched that, he's just went a wee bit too far in front of him, and then all of a sudden he just this week kind of bust a pace and a big long leg came out. He still had the ball totally under control. It was good to see. And well, I mean, we were all panicking. Oh no, man! Here we go. We're going to have Mikey Johnson and James Forrest starting. I mean, I was amazed that James Forrest didn't start. Honestly, I'd have bet money on James Forrest starting yesterday. And I think
I know you were saying that, yeah.
I think it was a big shout for Rodgers not to start Forrest and kind of go the safe route and give Yang his kind of chance. And we're talking about players grabbing their chance to. Aye, definitely, he grabbed it with both hands. And
you couldn't drop him if there was a match next week. You'd have to start him.
Aye, that's what it should be. Like Liam Scales, you know, like him, you can't drop Liam Scales because he's even Carter Vickers said he's just coming back for a long layoff and injury and that. But Liam Scales has been our best defender so far this season.
But you feel more comfortable with Liam Scales there. That even if Carter Vickers isn't up to full speed, you kind of go, well, in this instance, Scales can bail Carter Vickers out if required. Whereas if it's Carter Vickers with the Swedish lad, you're going, if Carter Vickers doesn't get this, God help us with the other fella.
Aye.
Whereas if Carter Vickers misses it, Scales tidies it up, like, on a lot of occasions.
Scales, I mean, I say it all the time with players. I said it with Johnson when he came in at first and that. They just slot into that team as if he'd been playing for us for years.
Yeah, he looks very comfortable in fairness.
I'm absolutely delighted for him. Obviously, we're all delighted for him, but you like to see, I mean, let's not be kidding. We're Celtic supporters. We like to see young Scottish players coming through, young Irish players coming through and doing well for Celtic. Do you know what I mean? And for a guy we all wrote off, we all thought, he gave him a good deal to go to Aberdeen. Do you know what I mean? Let him go back to Aberdeen and such and such. And there, I mean, that guy is just, it must be as a dream come true for him. We've read interviews and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? But it must be just whirlwind stuff to be that far out the picture and come in. And even Champions League, he's not even looked out of place in the Champions League. He's looked as if he's been playing at that level for years as well, Terence. It just looks comfortable there.
He looks very comfortable there. And the thing about it, Mark, as well, is that you hear a lot of people going, oh God, you know, fellas might say, oh, Palma, someone might go for Palma, someone might go for this. You could see a team in the Championship making an inquiry for Liam Scales, like. I know people might, or even the lower half of the Premier League, even.
Definitely.
I know people might laugh, but you could see a team going, well, we're struggling in centre back. This guy's playing out of his skin for Celtic. He's playing well in Champions League. We might be able to get him for 5 or 6 million. I'm just saying, you know, that's the way they think, like.
Aye.
You know, there could be an inquiry, like. You never know, like.
Well, I mean, there are that many scouts watching Celtic and keep track of all these stats and all the data control that there's. He'll been flagged up with a few teams. See, like these teams, see, like how we get Matt O'Reilly.
Yeah.
For me, Liam Scales is that kind of player that maybe a team a wee bit above Celtic's level would look at the Scales and say, well, we could take a punt on him because we could get him quite cheap. On their terms, as you said, £5 million for Scales. But I mean, we keep kind of talking about it. Do you think Scales would go? I think Scales is one of the players. This is his dream. I keep getting back to an interview I read with some young guy that was played off through the youth game and stuff like that, and he basically said, "Look, this is him. He's living his dream, playing for Celtic." But we heard that for KT as well. Do you know what I mean? But I think Scales fancies this for the long haul.
Yeah, look. I mean, he probably does, but you never know what's around the corner. That's the only thing. Like, you just don't know what's around the corner. But I'm sure he is, without a doubt, living his dream. But if you're a fresh footballer and some other team comes in and it's down south and it's the Premier League and he's hoping to play in the Premier League and you're going to get 5 or 6 times your wages, sometimes it's very hard to say.
Because, I mean, you said, Terence, that, you know, I mean, he went to university and stuff like that, so obviously he's no stupid. But, and again, going back to this interview with this player, I can't even mind who it was, but he was going on about it and he said he never played professional football that he was 22.
Yeah, I think he was in UCD, and he played with UCD, and then went from UCD to Shamrock Rovers, I think it was. And kind of kicked on from there then.
But I mean, like his family, none of his family are interested that much in football. They keep saying, "Oh, it's his job." They kind of just look at it like that. They know what it means to play for Celtic, but it was either rugby or the Gaelic football or something like that he was into as well. I'm sure, Terence, and that was kind of his family don't kind of. He plays soccer into it. Basically, he's kind of caught out there. He plays soccer. That's just his job. It's no really big deal when he gets back to his family and stuff like that, which is crazy. Because I mean, a young Irish guy getting back playing for Celtic and playing for the Republic, you think he's going to be mobbed in the street in it, and even his own family's a bit like, well, at least you're getting paid for it. Just mental.
Yeah, well, if he comes from a diehard, for argument's sake, a diehard GA family, they'd just be GA to the core, and they'd have little or no interest in football.
And
little
written the whole when he comes home. Oh, they're a big pussy coming in the door. How many we kicking the ball about apart in it? The GA, they're mental.
They're probably throwing him. They're probably saying to him, "Get on that hurling helmet, we get out the back, and we'll toughen you up, give you a few bells." Yeah, but no, look, time will tell. I think he's obviously, as I said, he's living a dream. He's obviously delighted to be playing there, and the longer he stays there, the better it is for Celtic because he's playing great stuff.
Definitely. I mean, I don't think there's anybody expected skills to play for us this season. I don't think anybody expected him to be here. Terence, didn't we know really when we spoke this summer?
It's a little bit like Anthony Ralston's first season with the Spurs manager.
Aye. That's a show. Aye.
They had no other centre back, so they were kind of going, "We can't let you go. We need you to play." And all of a sudden, he's gone grand, and now all of a sudden, he's a first name on the team sheet, or certainly one of the first names on the team sheet.
Greg saying Rodgers put millions on his value, saying skills is the biggest surprise of his managerial career. Aye, I mind reading that. Aye, and I mean that's got to help the young guy as well. For a manager, the prestige or standing of Brendan Rodgers to come out and say that after the players he's coached in that over the years to come out and say that about skills. I mean that must have made him feel 10 feet tall.
And it shows in his performances, Mark. He looks very comfortable in the ball, very comfortable on the pitch. He doesn't mind the physical side of it. He doesn't mind the tackle. You know what I mean? He does. You might look at him and you think, oh, he's a bit tall and thin, but he can use himself. He's well able to use himself. You see him, he doesn't lose a lot of 50-50 challenges, whether it be in the air or on the ground.
I was just going to say, he's cheaper in there. He adds that to our defence because I was going to say Cal McGregor. Carter Vickers isn't the best in there. You know what I mean?
But your man Scales is good now, in fairness.
Aye. And it's like, it's kind of developed. See, for me, Terence, it's kind of developing a kind of the old-fashioned perfect partnership. I mean, I'm not saying Scales is just like your kind of big, hurly-burly, hard-man defender because he can play a bit as well, but he's got that kind of physical side about him, whereas Carter Vickers has made a kind of ball-playing centre-half. So for me, it's like your ideal partnership. What is it they call it? Like the perfect foil. They complement each other. Everything they do complements each other.
Yeah, a little bit like McManus and Caldwell.
Rio Ferdinand and Vidic.
Yeah, I was going to say McManus and Caldwell.
Aye.
Because Caldwell would have been tidy on the ball. McManus would have been your real battler and, real stick his head in where most people wouldn't stick his boot. You know what I mean? It was Caldwell would have been more you'd be more of a passer and more of that kind of stuff. But look, it's working well for Celtic, to be fair. You know what I mean? It's to their benefit. And the guys who have been brought in, you know what I mean? I can't see them getting a kick of a ball for a long time unless there's an injury or something.
No, I think you're right with that as well. I think again, you're going back to managing game time and stuff like that. So they'll probably like Narovsky and that, Lager, Bielka, they'll get game time, but then it's up to them to try and give what we said earlier, give Rodgers a choice, force him to make it, force him into making a decision. Do you know what I mean? Because
But the
for
only
me,
time,
it's Liam Scales' drop.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. The only chance they have though, Mark, is if Liam Scales doesn't play. Because if they play,
Aye.
if they rest Carter Vickers and Scale plays with any of the two boys, Carter Vickers is coming back in.
And vice versa. Unless it is Carter Vickers is first name, the first defender, central defender's name, definitely.
Whereas if Carter Vickers is playing and they rest Scales and Jurowski or something comes in and has an absolute blinder, it's still going to be very hard not to put Scales back in, but it'll give the manager food for thought. Whereas the other way, if Scales starts and Carter Vickers is rested, Carter Vickers is going to come in no matter how good the guy plays.
It's just kind of put the pecking order into it.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is what it is. Did Jerry just vanish? Did he, by the way?
I think he's actually ended up in hijack with Chris Boyd. He landed in Ayrshire. But he was away. He get caught out on a job tear. That's how he was in the van driving.
Okay.
They must have been at it. But so we'll wind that up, Terence. I know you weren't even planning to be on this long. Do you know what I mean? Thanks very much for going, but I appreciate that. Mate.
No worries.
Jerry as well. Everybody in the live chat. Hope you enjoyed that again tonight. All your comments, we really appreciate it. Remember, hit the like button or Bobby Sutherland will hunt you down and smash your windies. And remember, please remember, we've launched for a food bank appeal. I don't like to beg you for money. I know money's tight, but if you can afford anything at all, it's going to a fantastic cause. And it's in Hamilton, it's local to us, lads, and I know it's going to a good cause. If you can afford anything, I'd really appreciate that. If you're not subscribed, please do so. If you know how, please leave a comment. Hail, hail, good night, and God bless.